Hey, I hope you're well. So first of all, let me just say I'm blown away by the feedback that I've had from the videos that I put out over the last week or so. The feedback I've had is amazing. I think we're approaching well over 8,000 views between all of the videos that I've put out. So thank you for that. So I'm someone that always creates goals for myself on a year-by-year basis. I believe they make you strive for whatever it is you want to achieve that year and obviously longer term. So today I wanted to talk about what goals you've set. I'm going to explain and share what I've set, but I wanted to talk about what goals you've set as well. So I'm not asking for people to give me their the ways they're going to do it. That doesn't concern me at all. All I care about is what goals you've set. I think it's interesting to hear other people's goals. Like I say, doesn't matter how you're going to do it. We're not looking for people to give away their secrets. We're just looking for people to share, because I think the more people that hear people share them, the more other people may actually start setting goals and get more competitive even as well. And I think it just inspires other people. Well, let me share you my goals first. So my first goal this year is to start helping to get the sport of pigeon racing recognised as an actual sport. That's the first thing. And I'm going to work with whoever I have to, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help get that happen. I think it's tremendously important. Look, if we've got greyhound racing recognised as a sport where the trainers and the people looking after the dogs have no direct input in that dog racing a race, I see no reason why pigeon racing can't be a sport. So that's the first goal I've got, to help at least start that. The second goal, which is a very basic one, is actually just to start keeping birds again. That's going to happen this year, and part of that goal is to enter into my first one-off races. So pretty simple goal there: start keeping birds again and enter into one-off races. The third goal I've got this year is to go to the China event in November, the big Blackpool equivalent in China. I want to go to that in November. I think it will be a fascinating experience to go over there. I've seen videos and I've seen pictures and reports from the Chinese event, and I think it would be fascinating to go. So I want to go to that Chinese event. The third goal I've got is to launch Racing Pigeon Network as the social media site and network for the sport of racing pigeons worldwide. Like I've said to you on videos before, if you've seen me say it, I apologise for repeating myself again for any of you that haven't seen me before speak. We have a disconnect. Not only do we have a disconnect between the UK and EU in some ways, we have an even bigger disconnect between China and the rest of the world when it comes to the sport of racing pigeons. Why? Because China bans Facebook. Facebook is banned in China. They cannot access Facebook. Facebook has a thriving community of pigeon racing people. No Chinese person legitimately can access Facebook. So I'm setting up the Racing Pigeon Network, which I haven't done yet. I've just started. There's quite a lot of work to do on it. It's functional, but it doesn't work yet how I want it, anywhere near how I want. You're quite welcome to go and sign up to it, racingpigeonnetwork.com. So the goal with that is for it to be a completely free service, just essentially be Facebook for racing pigeons and the sport of racing pigeons around the world. So that's my goal for this year. In addition to that, racingpigeoninternational.com will become a portal that will promote the sport, will promote businesses operating within the sport, bring the latest news and interviews, and not just your normal written word interviews. I intend to have reporters over a long period of time, reporters all around the world, reporting in their country. But again, not just written, I'm talking live video interviews, Facebook live interviews, and video-based interviews as well. And so, you know, that's something I want to get done and get up there. And then over a period of time, we will work towards it becoming a information site, not just for pigeon people, for new people that want to get into pigeon racing. So they're my goals for this year. Like I say, first primary goal is to help get, in any way I can, the sport recognised as a sport. If greyhound racing is a sport, so should pigeon racing. There should be no ifs, no buts, no arguments. There is a complete parallel between greyhound racing and pigeon racing. The second goal is simply just to start keeping birds again and enter my first one-off races. Third goal, go to the China event in November. Fourth goal is get Racing Pigeon Network up and running and as many thousands of people using as possible. There's over 1 million people in the world that keep racing pigeons. Wouldn't it be great to have a massive network of people, of 2, 3, 4, 500,000 people, all in one network dedicated to racing pigeons? Free forever, and that's what it would be. So that's what Racing Pigeon Network's going to be. Technically, I've got the skills to get it done. My marketing background will help as well. Like I say, realistically, it's going to take a couple of weeks to get up and running properly, but you're welcome to go and help us test it out if you want to go to racingpigeonnetwork.com. And Racing Pigeon International will be a portal. And I realise some may say, oh, people have done portals before. Without sounding big-headed, I'm going to be thinking out of the box on this. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing live interviews. We're going to be having Facebook Lives from all around the world. All of the one-off races will be covered by Racing Pigeon International eventually. And I'm going to be having reporters out there doing loft visits. I'm envisaging reporters going to people's lofts on big race days, being there on Facebook Live for Racing Pigeon International. I'm thinking out of the box with that. So it's not just going to be another pigeon portal where people write stuff and people read stuff. It's going to be a lot more than that over a period of time. So they're my 2019 goals. Have a think what yours are. What are your goals that you're going to be setting yourself with in sport, and share them. Like I say, nobody's asking you to give away how you're going to do it. And some of these goals, especially the ones I'm going to be talking to you about next, moving over after this 2019, I have no idea how I'm going to achieve some of them, but they're still a goal. So yeah, I'd love to get you sharing. If you've got a particular race you want to win, or a particular one-off race you want to enter, or a particular strain of bird that you want to develop, tell me about them. So my longer-term goals in pigeon racing. Now these get a little bit more interesting. And I'm not saying they're achievable in any time soon, because they're not. But they're still my goals. My first goal is to own a Barcelona International winner one day. I've been fascinated by a Barcelona International race since De Smaragd and Invincible Spirit days many years ago, 1988. I've been fascinated by the Barcelona International. I am not for 1 minute saying I will be racing to win it myself in any way, shape or form. Like I've said before, I'm only going to be entering one-off races moving forward. But I do want to own an International Barcelona winner one day. And tied into that, I want to set up long-term again my own international breeding stud. And it will be a commercial stud, but we're a commercial stud with a difference. We will enable people to be able to buy young birds and own stock birds, and those birds be entered into one-off races. People that have never kept a pigeon, never want to keep a pigeon, never want to clean a pigeon out, but we will give them the ability to be able to enter one-off races and get involved and get mainstream and regular people involved. So that's one of my long-term goals, is to set up an international racing stud of the best birds I can possibly get. Compete and win a one-off race, a major one-off race. That's my third goal long-term. Again, nobody's saying I'm going to be able to do it, but that's one of my goals, to be able to do it. And lastly, it's a bigger one. You know, I'm 44 now, and I want to see the stigma of racing pigeons go once and for all, especially within the UK. I want to see it not just survive, but I want to see it thrive. I want to use my out-of-the-box thinking and working with other people who I've been speaking to, many people in the last 2 weeks since I've been doing these Facebook Lives, who share the similar visions. how can we get it to where when I'm in my 60s and 70s, assuming I live that long, to where the sport of racing pigeons around the world is thriving, not just surviving. That's my last goal. So longer term goal is a bit harder to achieve. Owning an international Barcelona winner, I'm not sure how I can do that. I'd like to think I can one day. Setting up the stud is going to be a longer term goal, very much so. My 2019 goals, apart from getting the sport recognised, they're relatively realistic because within my control, apart from getting the sport recognised, but I'll do my very best to help get that sport recognised, because I absolutely find it ridiculous that greyhound racing's a sport and we're not. But yeah, the longer term goals are longer term. So we'll see. Winning one off race, that could take years and years, and you may not do it, but I'm still setting it as a goal of mine. So I'd love feedback. I'd love to get input on what your goals are. It would be a great thing, I think, for people to start sharing it. Sign up to racingpigeonnetwork.com. Like I say, it's not ready yet in any way, shape or form. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot more, but it is free. It will always be free. And it is essentially going to be the Facebook for pigeon racing. It's our own social network where every country in the world can access it. Unlike at the moment, Facebook is banned in China, like I said earlier. Our biggest pigeon racing country is banned from accessing the biggest social network with the most thriving community on in pigeons. That doesn't make much sense. So we need to develop our own network, which is what that's going to be. Technically, pretty much, it will look and feel very similar to Facebook in many ways. And like I said, there's a lot I got to do on it. There's a lot of work that I got to get a few experts that I know to help me out, get it up and running. But it is working. It's just not how I want it at the moment. So it's going to be a really big job over the next few weeks to get it up and running. And racingpigeoninternational.com behind me will be the portal. That is a longer term thing. It will be up and running over the next few weeks. But to get it really where I want it to get to is going to take a while. But, you know, one step at a time. What's the saying? If you shoot for the stars, you can hopefully hit the moon. And that's what this is all about. I'm going to be doing more Facebook Lives over the coming week. I've got a lot to talk about, including, is club racing dead? One-off races. How can we make them a spectator sport? And should we be rating one-off races? Should one-off races have a rating system? There's good, the bad, and a couple of ugly out there from what I hear. Should there be a rating system? Should we have league racing? Should we have different leagues of racing, just like in football? Why do we not really have the same system of national ace pigeons like the Belgians and the Dutch and the Germans do? And a whole bunch more to talk about as well. My poll on iSign that I put out, is iSign a good and real thing, or is it a pile of crap? That's got another few days to run at the moment. At the moment, it's showing 2/3 vote that iSign is a pile of crap. I bought it up. I don't know. I want to learn it. Why do I want to learn it about it? Is because I want to be able to look at a bird's eye and see if it's any good to go into my breeding loft that I'm looking to set up over a long period of time. The more I look at it, there's got to be something in it, I think, because it makes more sense than it not to be. Hey, Stephen, how are you in Belfast? So I've got a lot to talk about over the coming weeks and days, and I'm going to be putting a lot out about this, Racing Pigeon Network and International. I'd make no apologise for it. I'm doing both of those things to expand, develop and revolutionise the sport. I'm going to be looking people to get involved. If you're someone that fancies getting involved and you are not in the UK, I'm going to be looking for reporters all around the globe to be able to work on the international site, and I'm going to be looking for people in every country that races pigeons to be part of the Racing Pigeon Network. So yeah, that's about it. It's Friday evening here. I'm going to carry on getting some work more done on this network site. Again, thank you for all of the calls and conversations I've had in the last week or so. I'm genuinely blown away by the feedback I've had. I think I must be doing or thinking something right. Again, I'm very aware that people who don't like you or think you're an idiot are probably not going to tell you. And if they do tell you, that's fine. But probably more people that think what I'm thinking is the right thing to do are going to tell me more than people that don't, if that makes sense. And I get that. I had one very interesting conversation with someone this week talking more about blockchain. If you don't know what blockchain it is, it doesn't matter. It's a technical thing. But imagine this. Imagine every single racing pigeon in the world had its breeding details, its sex, all the basic details. Its breeding details, its ownership, its sales prices, its DNA, its race results, all embedded in one big database. So you could go and type a pigeon's number in or a name in, and you would see everything about that pigeon, including its pedigree, its ancestry, as far back as records go. Imagine how, and its race results live as that bird's racing. All of these things technically are possible. Imagine how powerful that would be. That's something we can actually do with the cooperation of different associations around the world. Imagine that for a minute. Let's just get some... Derek, I agree. There's a reason it's on the top of my list for this year. Recognition of pigeon racing has to be a priority. Derek, that's the reason it's on top of my list. But it's not the only thing I can do. I've got a lot of other things I can do while we're waiting for the HAP to happen, because the reality of that is that it's going to take time. We're not going to get sport recognised as a sport officially in a matter of weeks or months. That's going to take time to do, but I am fully pledged to do it. Ian Evans, pleased to see you have joined in, and look forward to meeting with you soon. Thank you to all of the people that have tuned in. Blown away again by this. Let's see if we can get any more comments up before I go. Lots of people I'm scrolling through that have joined in. Stuart Reed, good on you, behind you all the way. Thank you very much, Stuart. Appreciate it. Sprinters Van Bell, great idea. Thank you again. Hi, Stephen from Belfast. Hi, Hugh Hermans. Thank you for the hello. The Stephen Kennedy, the site is called racingpigeonnetwork.com. If you go there, sign up for free. Like I say, it's clunky at the moment. It doesn't work in any way, shape or form exactly how I want it to. But you can go and register and you can see the kind of general feel. I'm going to be working all weekend on it with a couple of other people that are helping me on it. But if you go to racingpigeonnetwork.com, you can at least register. All right? Like I said, it's going to be a week or so until I get it to anywhere near where I want it to be. But it's work in progress. These things take time. But I've got people working on it with me and helping me out with it. I'm going to be working on it a lot of the weekend to get it up and running. But go and check it out. I'm going to be talking about so much about that and the Racing Pigeon International over a period of time. So yeah, I hope that's all right, Stephen, racingpigeonnetwork.com. So we've got a lot of people still coming on. That's all I've got to say. If you didn't catch all of this, please go and watch it again. And if you like what I'm saying and you like anything that I'm saying, please make sure you share this live video and let's get people talking about how we're going to not just grow the sport into the future, but revolutionize it and make sure that it thrives for many years to come. And let's get some new out-the-box thinking going on. That's what I'm all about with this. Any of the ideas I've got that are non-personal goals is because I want to see that happen. So thank you very, very much for watching. I will be doing more Facebook Lives. May do a couple over the weekend to see how long this takes me to get done. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you soon.